Pam was fine.
Yeah, Pam was fine. That's why, like, with the Martin show, it never seemed believable. Like,
why you say that?
He never thought that Pam was fine.
Well,
I mean, like,
well, you know, that was just the essence of the show. You know what I'm saying? That was kind of like the essence of the show, I guess.
Like, so, like, he made fun of her all the time and was like, ain't no way you better than my baby. And I'm like, nigga, your baby got man hips. Like, her shape.
What in the hell are man hips?
Look at them. Look at it. Look at Martin's hips and then look at hers. It goes straight up and down, and then her butt goes inward, not out. Where they had a rounded edge. They just look. It just goes straight up and down. The hips don't come out on the sides.
She seemed like
her butt was more like a muscular butt.
Oh my God.
It was a muscle ass. Look. Just look at it.
This guy is being very critical.
In comparison to Pam's?
No, Pam had her beat.
Exactly.
I guess more so because I like I'm not being partial, but I like darker skinned women.
I do as well.
Yeah.
And in some cases, from my experience, from growing up, a lot of times, not saying that dark-skinned women don't believe in themselves as beautiful or whatever like that, but light-skinned women automatically think that they just look good. I'm like, no, shawty.
Are you recording?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
I mean, you can voice your opinion. It might not make it, but I'm just saying. In most cases, when it's with light-skinned women, they don't think they have to do much because they feel like they already attractive, and the last nigga before you had no problem with doing the thing that you have an issue or complaining about.
Lord have mercy.
And it's crazy, like a mediocre light-skinned chick will get more praise than a fine dark-skinned chick.
Same way for
a fine dark-skinned chick. Like, okay, perfect example.
Same way for light-skinned dudes, I think.
Some people, hey man, I might take offense to it because I'm light-skinned. All right, so perfect example. The baddest chick that I think of, and she gets no recognition by anybody, model chick. Okay. Fine ass dark skinned chick. Bria Miles. Or is it Bria Murphy? I think her name's Bria Murphy. Bria Miles, Bria Murphy. Rumor has it she is Eddie Murphy's daughter.
Oh wow, for real?
But I don't really see it in her, or maybe she might be Nicole Murphy's daughter or something like that. I can't remember. But if you look her up, she is fine as hell. Nobody talks about her. Got the most amazing smile, great hair, natural for the most part. Never really has to wear makeup. Looks amazing.
I got some. Oh, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah.
But someone like Beyonce, Meg the Stallion, gets all the praise.
Well,
How many times you hear people talk about how fine Kelly Rowland is?
a lot.
Not in comparison to Beyonce.
Of course not. Because we're still dealing with colorism. Let's just be real with it.
But this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we're still dealing with that. Like, because I was looking up somebody, but
just Google Bria Miles, BRIAMYLES, or it might be Murphy.
Bria Murphy.
You can even pull it up on Instagram, and I'm sure anybody who listens, they probably going up right now. That bitch fine as hell. I'm sorry, Bria. I'm sorry.
Yep,
Just in case you're listening,
that's Eddie Murphy's daughter.
Baby, you are sexy as hell.
Yeah, that's Eddie Murphy's daughter. Yeah, Eddie Nicole Murphy's daughter. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Let me make sure you're looking at the right picture.
Yeah. Bria Murphy.
Turn around.
This is Bria Murphy right here.
Oh, no. That's the
No? Okay. Oh, he's beautiful now. She is beautiful.
This person I'm talking about, who you just, that's
Bria Mills. What is her name?
I'm just
Bria Mills. Is that her name?
Miles. But
my service is slow for some reason, but
because everybody on the internet.
Yeah, of course.
Everybody on the internet, so they're just not going to be super slow, but
we're already on a tangent, by the
way. Right. Already. You know what? While I'm searching, let me go ahead and get started. Thank you for reminding me, because I'm already off on one.
My pleasure.
What's goody? What's good? What's goody? What's good? I am your host, Jason JWilldoes, and I got my guy, Ivan.
What it do?
The Grizzly, the Great.
What it do, man? What it do? What it do? What it do? What it do?
As you can see, we're already off on a tangent.
About good to be off on a tangent once again.
We'll just say colorisms. We'll say colorisms right now, but
colorism exists, man.
It does.
Colorism exists. We don't want to admit that, but colorism exists.
But this is the I'm sending it to you on Instagram. This is just her page. That's just a picture from her page, but
okay.
The chick is amazing, my nigga.
Man, look, hey, one of the things that I did want to point out about colorism is that, wow.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Wow.
She is
amazing. Amazing.
She is beautiful.
Amazing.
Beautiful. Wow.
So anybody who is questioning our taste right now, go to her page.
Blue button pushed.
Huh?
Blue button has been pushed.
The page is real Bria Miles, and that's RealBriaMyles.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
You see this one?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. And this is what I'm saying, like,
oh my God.
Dark-skinned women never really get their praise at all, especially when they're amongst other light-skinned chicks. And their natural beauty gets overshadowed like it's nothing.
I think there's always going to be colorism.
Like all this is her hair.
Yeah, like
no weave, no makeup.
Yeah,
like I'm sure she does wear makeup, but she does not have to.
Yeah, I think colorism exists, and I think it's also the elephant in the room, because we really don't we deal with it in a glossed over fashion, but we don't really deal with it directly because, quite frankly, I think we enjoy not
See, you can't even pay attention. You don't really. This nigga losing all train of thought.
I tell all my business what I'm trying to do here. No, for real, like
This.
Lord,
Fucking amazing.
that's something the Lord made right there, man. That is something the Lord made. See, man, one of the things I do appreciate about this show is we can appreciate beauty, especially the beauty of Black women, of our women, without being, without being offensive and so forth. Without, somebody might take offense, but we don't have any control over that. But like, I do like how we show appreciation for Black women on this show. Like, I enjoy that. You know what I mean? Like we talk about the beauty of especially darker skinned women,
I
light
love
skinned
dark skinned
women,
women.
whatever, like all colors. But at the same time, I do like, I understand, man, I love dark skinned women. I love women, my color. I love all women. Don't get me wrong, but there's just something about a darker skinned woman, darker skinned woman that just has something. I don't know what it is, but it's just that something that you are, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're attracted to, that gets everybody's attention, not just anybody, but I think whenever, because the number one like supermodel in the world
They
is
seem to treat you. They seem to treat you better too.
Oh boy, here we go with this shit.
Again, this is my
Here we go.
This is my experience, but I've been around, sir.
I know you have, sir. I know you have.
Dated overseas. Dated.
Damn, overseas dating.
Well, I mean, overseas, but she was from Africa, but still. Overseas, many different states.
Different state dating.
From my experience,
From your experience looking at it,
dark-skinned women have treated me better than light-skinned.
Dark-skinned women are treating you better looking at it.
A lot of times when you're dating a light-skinned woman, y'all are, especially if she's attractive and you are attractive, y'all are in a constant bickering of, I know you got somebody else type of thing.
Really?
I know you messing off on me type of thing.
Damn, say that again.
I know you cheating. I know you messing off.
Wait a minute, say that one more time. Who is this?
What? When I've dated light-skinned women, there have always been the Jason, I know you you have to deal with the fans. So a light skinned girl, she always like, Jason, you got these fans, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I ain't got nobody. But the insecurity comes into play. And the insecurity is the same for if you're a light-skinned guy dating a light-skinned woman. You're worrying about somebody coming through trying to holler at your girl.
You think so? You think so for real?
And in most cases, they have and are cheating.
What, light-skinned chicks?
Yes.
Damn. That's some cold shit.
Because again, like we were talking in the beginning with Gina and Pam, everybody paid more attention or wants to holler at the light-skinned chick. Everybody wants the light-skinned chick. How many niggas was fawning after Beyonce when she first came out?
Well, a lot.
There's Destiny Child, and when Destiny Child came out, everybody was hooping and hollering over Beyonce out of the group. Nobody else, or better yet, Alicia Keys. When Alicia Keys came out, oh my God, Alicia Keys is about she's this, that, and other.
Yeah, I can't remember that.
There have been many different dark-skinned chicks that look way better than both of them, but Alicia Keys and Beyonce were put out in the forefront to be admired. Beyonce was put in the forefront of the Destiny's Child group to be admired. And we are like, well, I don't know about you, but to me in that group, Latavia was the finest nigga in the group. Was the finest chick out the group. It was Latavia.
Who was?
Latavia.
Oh,
She was one of the first original member of Destiny Child.
oh,
It was Latavia, and then Kelly Rowland, and then I would say Beyonce, and then I would say Michelle. But Beyonce was never finding me like that. And then when they kicked Latavia out of the group, you had Kelly. And I'm like, okay, Kelly look better than Beyonce.
I mean, what are we really talking about looks when it comes to Destiny Child, though?
You said, what are we talking about?
Are we really focused on looks when it comes to Destiny Child, though? Or are we talking about talent?
If we talking about talent, Latavia was still saying better than Beyonce. And that's the reason why I think she put out the group.
Yeah.
She was taking too much attention from Beyonce.
I don't know about all that.
Now, yeah, I will say I don't know about all that because we haven't heard anything else from Latavia since she has left the group.
Plus, Beyonce's dad was the manager of the group, so obviously she's going to get a lot of the attention.
Okay. So another example then I would say, while we talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me this then.
And we've already gone off on a tangent about
Colorism.
The elephant in the room. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to deal with it. Whether you like it or not. Go ahead, sir.
So I've been having this question for the past couple of weeks that I've been wanting to ask, and it seems very appropriate to ask right now. Since we're talking about singers, colorisms, and things of that nature, I think colorism has a reason why Brandy is not talked about at all in the music industry.
You got a point.
Think about it. Brandy is fine as hell.
Probably
natural
one of the greatest singers of our time.
Yes.
Most talent, one of the most talented.
I guarantee you she probably can sing Beyonce out of the room.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about that.
So again, tell me why no one is talking about Brandy. Okay, we're doing these versus battles. Nobody has yet to bring up Brandy in a versus battle.
Well, yes, they did. They talked about Brandy and Monica. They did. They brought it up.
See, they only bringing that up because they had a song together, the Boyz mind shit.
Well,
Monica's well, to me, that was a slap in the face if you saying, let's do Monica and Brandy. If I was Brandy, I'd be like, man, y'all got fucked up. Monica only got one album.
Well, the reason why they've done that is they try to find individuals that are comparable to the other person. When it comes to Beyonce, you have to think about, you have to think about there's this stratosphere that Beyonce has gone to as far as hits, as far as albums, as far as all that.
These comments that I'm making, I'm not saying Beyonce is not a dope artist or whatever.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And it's hard to make that comparison because Brandy has always been a singular artist. She's never been a part of a group.
Right.
So Beyonce got exposure. She got exposure prior to becoming an independent or a singular artist. She was in a group first. Now she was the lead of that group, so her face was always out front. Her, her aura, whatever you want to call it, her energy as a lead singer was always there. So you always saw her first, right? But and she embarked on a solo career. It was catapulted from the success of Destiny's Child. So, but Brandy starting out on her own, the whole Star Trek thing, being a singular artist from day one, I have to give the nod to Brandy as far as talent-wise goes, because Brandy is obviously vocally superior to Beyonce, right? But Beyonce,
she's superior to Beyonce in every way.
No, she's not. She's not. She's no. She's no.
TV show.
No, acting and singing, yeah, but not as far as entertaining. Beyonce is way more entertaining than Brandy. Like, Brandy's never been able to dance and sing at the same time. Brandy's never been able to choreograph and put stuff together like that. Beyonce is way more of a machine. Like Beyonce is way more of that. And no. You have to consider those things because
I would say that's how Beyonce hides her lack of talent.
I don't think she's hiding a lack of talent. I don't think she's hiding that. That's just who Beyonce is as an artist. Some artists are more vocally sound. Some artists are more of some artists have more of an entertaining value because they can dance. They have more of a voice that can be applied to certain types of music, right? Brandy, so I'll give you an example. Brandy did Never Say Never, right? She did The Boy's Mind. She had those albums of great music on all those albums. Brandy did a song with Common and Robert Glasper, August Green, right? They redid Keep Your Head to the Sky, Sounds of Blackness. Obviously, Brandy's voice is perfect for that song, right? Beyonce couldn't pull that off, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? She can't pull off an Ann Nesby song. She can't pull off that type of thing. Beyonce is more of, she probably could do an Aretha Franklin or something like that, or, you know, one of those types of the more engaged and involved, kind of hyped up type of things.
I'll give you something to add.
Okay.
Some gelato.
Got it. And so she's more of that type of artist, but different. The artist classification. So you mentioned Alicia Keys, right? Alicia Keys didn't really dance.
Mm-hmm.
Alicia Keys has done very little acting. Go ahead.
Speaking of, I heard somebody make mention of, and I really would want to see it, the battle versus John Legend and Alicia Keys.
That would be good.
Because both of them play the piano.
And they're multi-talented. Now, Alicia Keys, she's one of those artists that is multi-talented.
Mm-hmm.
She just doesn't, she's not a great entertainer as far as the dancing and the choreography, that type of thing. Now, she can put on a show like anybody else, of course, but she doesn't have that flair. She's not going to have backups and all that kind of stuff. Singing-wise, she will. But as far as like dancing and the more Tina Turner-esque type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? This man cannot find his lighter again.
It's fucking ridiculous. I'm like an old man. Where's my glasses?
On your face, sir.
Then I got two
in your body. Right. So the different artists, because you got Alicia Keys plays the piano. She can play classical. She can play whatever. She's not the best vocalist. She can sing, but she's not the best vocalist.
Ooh, Alicia Keys?
Yeah. You know, she's not the best vocalist. She's really not. And a lot of people that have heard her sing live say the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because some people are they're better studio artists than they are live artists. I've heard people say that about Music Soul Child. Music Soul Child honestly has never put out a bad album, in my opinion. He tried that rap thing that was garbage, but as far as him singing and being an R&B crooner, like music is, you know, neo soul, like all the way. Like he doesn't really get that credit. But when it comes to live, when it comes to the live thing, like that's a whole different ballgame because you really got to bring it as a live artist. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So some artists Brandy can sing everybody under a table. Like real talk. She can sing everybody on the table, but she don't have that dance. She don't have that flair.
But she don't need to.
But no, it doesn't. Okay, she does it for what she does. You know what I'm saying?
Think about
she does it for what she does as an artist. She does not need that for what she does because nobody's expecting Brandy to go and sell out a 20,000 show, which that's not happening right now. But she's not selling out a FedEx Forum. You know what I'm saying?
So is that what you need to do or have to have in order to sell out?
No. Again,
to sell out arenas?
Again, different artists have different audiences and have different talents that audiences are attracted to.
Because Whitney Houston don't dance. Mariah Carey don't
Whitney
dance.
Houston did dance.
Man, she did a two-step.
But still.
She wasn't doing no choreography.
No, she wasn't. But Tina Turner was doing choreography, right? What I'm saying is different artists bring different things to the table that people like to see. Like if you can because people talk about Beyonce, right?
Mm-hmm.
Beyonce can't sing. I'm saying, well, in comparison to, but she can still sing. But in comparison to Kelly, Kelly's a better vocalist than Beyonce is.
Yeah.
Right? But does Kelly have that it factor that Beyonce does? Beyonce just has that it factor, right?
I think it's more, when you say it, it's more of a relatable, can they relate to the person? And it's weird how people can relate to Beyonce and not Kelly or not Brandy. Cause that's what fans are. That's what followers are. You follow an artist, you follow a celebrity. You are a fan of the celebrity because you relate to them. The movies that they play in, the songs that they sing, things of that nature. You relate to that artist or celebrity.
True.
What's weird is that these other artists, like I said, I feel like it's the colorism because they don't gravitate towards them because of
it's a part of it. True. I agree. It's definitely a part of it.
Because just I want you to just think of and name. You might not even have to. I ain't gonna really name them out loud, but just go through your head and name all the dark-skinned female artists that probably should be in a better place and it's not.
I'm gonna give you one example.
Great thing.
I'm gonna give you one example, and I'm only gonna say one name. I only need to say one name. NDRE.
Okay. What?
Yes, sir. NDRE is one of the best artists, female artists of the last 20 years. But she sang the song "I'm Not My Hair" because she was natural. She's got the big full lips. She's got the big nose. She's dark skinned. Like there was a difference.
She started that way before her time.
Yeah.
She did that now.
Everybody totally agree with what you just said. I totally agree with what you just said. She was way before her time. Way before her time.
Because if she came out with that album now or 2 or 3 years ago, she probably would be Diamond, or something like that.
Absolutely. But you look at it over the history over a period of time. Why did Michael Jackson not want to be darker? Right? Not, like he had vitiligo according to what people said or what was said, but he got his skin lightened.
Dude.
You know what I mean?
Man.
Big nose, dark
skin. Have you seen Sammy Sosa, my nigga?
Man, Sammy Sosa looks like a fucking ghost.
That nigga looks like Victor from the Addams Family with a suit on.
He looks ridiculous.
And then the widow's peak don't make it any better. My nigga look like a fucking vampire.
He does, man. That's sad. I really do feel sorry for him.
When you said that about Michael Jackson and his skin, this nigga has gone from a Dominican man to a full-fledged white man.
Yeah, it's sad. Honestly, looking at Sammy Sosa, I'm like, man, that dude need prayer.
He look like he's Jewish.
Yeah, he looks crazy. He does. He looks crazy, man. I don't even know. I haven't read anything about like his reasons for doing that, but I'm like, come on, dog.
Dude,
come on, dog.
In one of the clips, somebody had asked him about it, and he was saying something about, he's like, I just put on a little lotion.
No.
He's like, this is nothing. It's just a little lotion. No. I like my skin to be clean.
No, nigga. You did not put lotion on. You lightened your skin, sir.
When he said that word, I like my skin to be clean, I was like, this nigga,
he fucked up.
Tried to scrub the black off of him by saying black was dirty.
He literally tried to get the black off him. He literally, that proverbial get in the tub and scrubbed it. You gonna scrub the black off you? That's exactly what he did.
And him saying, oh, this is nothing but a little bit of lotion. I'm like, nigga, you rubbing bleach lotion on you or something, my nigga.
Skin pasty as hell, too.
This nigga drinking bleach, standing under a UV light and scrubbing himself all at the same time. That shit is fucking crazy.
It is, man. It is. But it just goes to show you what colorism does in our society and our culture. You know what I mean? Like, for real, like the whole...
Hey, man, love your chocolate women, man.
Yeah, love your chocolate. I mean, love all...
Look,
overall, but yeah, show love to
we either shit on or overlook that dark skinned chick like she ain't bad. She could be standing next to 3 other light skinned chicks. We'll all look at the other 3 light skinned chicks and just be like, but me, I be like, man, it could be me, you, and 2 other niggas will be out, and all the others like, man, them 3 chicks over there, man. I'm like, shit, nigga, that dark skinned chick. Find the motherfucker. What y'all talking about? I don't know about her. Nigga. She will probably be the coolest one out of the group.
And that's not going to be me to say that either.
Will be the coolest person out of the group and everything like that. And the other chicks will probably look at you like, why you even approaching?
It's happened to me before.
It happens all the time.
It's happened to me before.
It happens all the time. And it's like, it's almost like when you look at, especially when it comes to dark skinned female, light skinned female, talking to a light skinned female, it's almost like it's a privilege to even speak to them.
Man, I gotta cover my face with a towel. You say that?
Because you gotta think about how many niggas have gassed their head up. Man, you look so you so fine, you so beautiful, your hair this. They're complimenting things that they feel is beautiful about her. Because most niggas who like light-skinned females, it's the typical stereotype of light-skinned long hair.
Yeah.
Light-skinned long hair, yeah. Pretty eyes, that shit.
Yeah.
Like a dark-skinned woman can't have long, pretty hair.
Yeah.
Like if she's dark, it's nappy or some shit like that. I'm like, dude, this bitch fine. Like when you looking at Pam and Gina next to each other,
I see 2 beautiful women. I do. That's just me. I see 2 beautiful women when I see that. Then we're talking about Pam and Gina, just using them as an example. But
man, Gina got little breasts and a muscle breast.
I ain't worried about that. I'm not. Somebody's attracted to that. That ain't what I'm talking about.
She got a boy body.
I'm not. Hey. Whatever. Somebody's attracted to that because Dwayne Martin was married to her for like 20 years. So I'm not talking about that. Yeah, obviously, I guess. I don't know, nigga. I'm just saying. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I just say that.
You go with this shit.
I haven't had divorce for you.
I ain't got to do that. All I'm saying is they got kids. He was attracted to her.
Do they have kids?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So looking at this show, I always thought Pam was fine.
Look at him, he got Martin pants on right now. His slacks on.
Okay, dog. This nigga.
You got these niggas slacks on and belts.
This motherfucker, we ain't even been syndicated. This motherfucker gonna get us canceled before we even get. But Pam was so fine to me.
Yes.
Pam was so fine to me. Ever since I first started watching this show.
Yes.
Everybody's talking about Gina, but Pam was always so fine to me.
I didn't like Gina when she was on House Party.
Actually.
She wasn't fun. Her friend, the dark-skinned friend on House Party looked better than her.
Yeah, she was bad. She was bad.
But they talked about her.
Yeah. Actually, that was the same lady that played Tyrese played Jodie Palmer.
Yeah. AJ Johnson, I think is her name.
That's her name. Yeah. She is beautiful.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
And she still looks the same now.
Oh my God.
She's like 50.
Yeah. She is beautiful, man.
Who else? All right, it's somebody else I was from the night.
I know.
She was in School Days.
I know Vanessa Bell Calloway is fine, still fine as hell.
When Gina, I can't think of her, when Tashina Arnold was in the movie School Days, they talked about her over everybody else in the movie.
In the School Days, remember, they kind of dealt with the colorism thing in School Days too.
Yes.
So you know what I'm saying? And that's and just for people that are listening, that's what our conversation is about. This is not, we think that light-skinned women are worse, or we think dark-skinned women are better, whatever. We're just talking about the elements of colorism, how women are viewed, how guys are viewed, whatever.
And how people choose.
There you go.
Based off of
because subconsciously, we've been taught that darker is worse.
Yes.
So when we're just being real with this, subconsciously, we've been taught that darker is worse.
While at the same time being told that black is beautiful.
Right. Conflicting bullshit. Ain't that some shit?
Yes.
I'm gonna say this. There was something that Dick Gregory said about the leaders of major organizations, black organizations.
I already know what you're gonna say. If their wife is lighter than them, you can't trust them. Something to that effect.
Well, he said that they talk about Jesus being white when you talk about Christians, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said, look at the Nation of Islam. Have they ever had a dark-skinned leader? No.
Damn.
No.
All of them been beige.
Exactly. He pointed it out. He said, you had...
Even Malcolm X was...
There you go.
Red.
Detroit Red.
Yeah. You know what? I might name myself Memphis Red. Who in Memphis got that name?
I don't know nobody in Memphis named Memphis Red, but you can be Memphis Red. That's your new name, Memphis Red. But he mentioned that. He talked about that. He wasn't, casting a dark shadow on NOI. Shout out to NOI brothers and sisters representing the people and helping build the culture continually every day. They do. A lot of your black organizations, the leaders, they pick leaders who are lighter.
Because if you're too dark, you come off as too aggressive. And militant.
Prime example.
Brother Polite,
but a prime example. Khalid Muhammad. Brother Khalid. He died, remember? Wound up dying.
Mm-hmm.
Khalid had beef with the nation, right? He had issues. They had issues. But Khalid was very outspoken.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He was very, very outspoken, right? And people were looking at him as being one of the new leaders, but it never happened. He passed away. You feel what I'm saying? He was dark, bald-headed. He spoke, you know what I'm saying, aggressively. He raged against the machine aggressively. You know what I'm saying? And he also found, disagreement with the nation. You know what I mean? So a lot of times, again, like the darker skinned leaders or darker, skinned people who speak up are viewed as being overly aggressive. Malcolm was to a degree. But Malcolm even, but I think a lot of times you're accepted if you're accepted more so if your skin is lighter.
You're accepted in a lot more circles.
Yeah, in a lot more circles. Yeah.
This is true. You are
let me give you another
less intimidating.
Let me give you another example. Would LL Cool J be considered the sex symbol that he is if he was my color or darker?
Nigga, what are you talking about? Your color. Nigga, we both beige.
No, we're not, man. I don't get where you get that. You can obviously look at me and tell that I'm darker than you, sir.
That's because I wasn't in the sun today.
It doesn't matter. Even if you were in the sun, you're not going to be as dark as me. Now, I'm not as dark as like some of my family members, especially on my mom's side.
Because I would say you're brown skinned.
Yeah, I'm brown skinned, but I'm not as dark as some of them. Like some of them are a lot darker. But what I'm saying is that if LL Cool J was my color or darker, he would not be considered the sex symbol that he is.
Nah. Hell, because look at Kool Moe Dee.
Yeah.
Or, well, I don't know, Big Daddy Kane when he was doing his sex symbol thing. That nigga was
Big Daddy Kane was a little bit different, I think. He was a little bit different. Because
that nigga's out here fucking Naomi Campbell and Madonna at the same time.
Okay. Big Daddy Kane pulled. He was
did a Playboy Playgirl photo shoot with Naomi Campbell and Madonna.
Sure did.
Like, hey, while I'm digging them down, hey, go ahead and take these pictures.
Big Daddy, shout out to Big Daddy Kane, man. Big Daddy Kane.
Ain't no half-stepping.
Ain't no half-stepping. I get the job done. I got to work. Baby.
But that is, I'm not going to dwell on it much longer, but we subconsciously, I want to say we pick our friends this way.
Damn.
We subconsciously pick our friends based off of this and everything.
That's a whole show, bro. We got to do a whole show on colorism, man. We got to do an entire show on colorism. We got to do it. We got to do it.
if you think about how many dark-skinned friends that you got, or how many do you keep in contact with, how many light-skinned friends that you got that you kick it with or out with.
All my dark-skinned friends been to jail, too. I just thought about it. I'm just fucking around. I'm lying, man. I'm lying. I'm bullshit.
Like, if you just think about it, like, the people who you may brush off, and then the people who you gravitate towards. All of that, I'm sure it's going to be some colorism, some form of fashion involved.
Hey, man, listen. One of the things I thought about when you said that, I remember growing up. So, you know my homeboy B, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we were younger. When girls used to always gravitate towards him first.
The one that he transparent, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
The transparent nigga, he's way lighter than me. Start calling that nigga translucent B.
So, girls used to always, so he was shorter. He had the curly hair.
Mm-hmm.
He was ultra light skinned. Girls used to, and this is just real. Like, I'm not.
Girls are like, y'all have some pretty kids.
There you go.
Okay.
He
look retarded too.
Okay. Just real quick.
Special needs.
There we go. Something to that degree.
My apologies.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. This nigga's gonna get us canceled. They used to gravitate more towards him than they did me. Because I was the taller, darker skinned, cat. I didn't really get a lot of the attention that he got. And me and him talked about that shit. We've talked about that. He was like, man, yeah, like girls, used to be more apt to. And then you remember the song that Jay had on, I think it was on a Black album. He was like, and plus he was talking about at the time, he was talking about rapping when he was telling his story. He was like, plus the light skinned wavy girls is loving me now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like at that time, especially when we were growing up in like the 80s and 90s, like colorism was big as far as picking somebody that you wanted to talk to because, the lighter skinned girls, they the ones that got all the attention. Ooh, she fine because she light skinned. The darker skinned chicks, they didn't get the attention. And it was some beautiful, I know some that today, they married, kids, whatever, that were the absolute.
And look way better now.
Yes. Look, don't you do it. Don't you do it. Look way better. Pull it back. Reel it in. Pull it back. And so look way better. You know what I mean? So colorism still exists. We have to admit it. We have to be honest about it. There is more of an appreciation now for darker skinned women. You see more dark models. You see more, you see more darker models.
You know what? It's still there. You know what I see? When it comes to, how should I say this? When it comes to you do see them, but when it comes to a darker skin model, how should I say?
Say it right.
They have aggressively black features.
Of course.
So it's when she's dark skinned, it's the extreme. She has these extreme, huge, big lips. She's she's
or they
blue-black.
Airbrush. Yeah, they airbrush on purpose or something like that.
All of this, and it's like, oh my gosh, she's beautiful. I'm like, nigga, there's a whole bunch of other people who look better than this. But you want to grab what they do is they grab the ugly black girl and say she's beautiful. No, nigga, grab the beautiful black girl and say she's beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean by ugly black girl?
Okay.
That they consider ugly, right?
The same things that I would say the media or white people deem as ugly black features.
Okay, I got you.
That also are wrung out amongst black people as ugly black features.
Mm-hmm.
is now when it comes to this model, you'll have this black model who has all of these extreme black features, and it's like, oh my God, she's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You like, no, she's not.
No, it's a novelty. It becomes a novelty.
Yes, and that's what it is. It's the novelty by saying that's by the media or white people saying this is what is beautiful, but every day when you see someone who's actually beautiful, you're like, oh, she don't look better than so and so. So I'm like, what does she do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like when I say something extreme, how should I say? Grace Jones.
Okay. Grace Jones.
They'll be like her features. They'll be like, Grace Jones is beautiful. She was amazing, whatever, like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not saying that she wasn't, but it's they picked the aggressive black features to point out to say that she was beautiful.
So
as opposed to saying someone like Bria Miles. Again, I put like as much as I followed her for quite some time on social media.
Mm-hmm. How
often have you heard this chick's name?
You haven't.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll be honest, you haven't.
And I put like this. I used to have this thing for Melissa Ford. You remember Melissa Ford, the model?
Yes.
She was in the Knock Yourself Out video with Jada Kiss.
Yeah, Melissa Ford was bad. She still is bad.
That Bria Miles chick looked way better than her.
Yeah, she does.
Way better. Hands down. No competition.
Yeah.
But I used to love Melissa Ford. Melissa Ford was bad.
1,000% correct.
Bad. But you put Bria Miles right next to her, and it's like, who are we talking about?
Well, so, and this is the last I'll say about this because I really,
I'm done with it.
We can do an entire episode on colorism, which we'll do that. But
well, after you say that, I'll say one other thing, then I'll be done with it.
One of the things that I do appreciate is that there has been a consistent increase of appreciation for darker skinned women in movies and music and so forth and so on. And I'll use an example, Gabrielle Union. She's one of those.
I don't like it.
Well, you ain't got to, nigga. I'm just saying. Another person. What is her name? Oh my God, I cannot think of her name. Another individual that has been appreciated more, a darker skinned lady has been appreciated more. Viola Davis, as a matter of fact. Viola Davis, which me personally,
that's the other person I was about to say. Think of about aggressive black people.
But me personally, I think Viola Davis is beautiful. I think she is beautiful. Like seriously, I think she is beautiful. That's me. Like I think Viola Davis is beautiful. When you say aggressive black features, you're talking about, of course, the bigger nose and the wider lips, the more full lips and whatever. But I appreciate that about those individuals because they chose not to change what they look like to fit the narrative. You know what I mean?
Now, when I say aggressive black features, what I'm talking about is what is normally the norm as far as what's considered ugly is gravitated towards and
it's novelized. Yes. It becomes a novelty. Yes. Basically, it becomes a novelty.
Yeah. So that's my thing. But I'm gonna say, like I said, I'm gonna say this last thing, then I'll be off of it. I remember dating this chocolate, amazing dark skinned chick.
Mm-hmm.
When she would come over, like if we're just kicking it at the house or whatever, when she'd come over all done up. She'd have her weave in. She have her eyelashes on. Mm-hmm. She have this makeup on. She have all this other type of stuff on.
Mm-hmm.
And I would tell her, I was like, dude, I've seen you without the makeup, without the weave, without the eyelashes.
Mm-hmm.
One, you look amazing, natural as is.
Mm-hmm.
And two, you look younger.
Mm-hmm.
When you wearing all this other type of stuff, you look old. But so from that point on, I was trying to make sure that she was natural. What I would come to find out is that her mother made her feel some kind of way by wearing her hair regular.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you wore it regular and she might be leaving, or she might go see her mother before she would come see me or something.
Mm-hmm.
Her mother would be like, "Oh, so you want your hair nappy again? I see."
Oh yeah, I don't like that shit.
You like what?
That nappy shit. You wearing
But your hair is not nappy.
Yeah.
You got good hair. How is it nappy?
Mm-hmm.
Like the worst thing a guy hates to experience is a chick that comes over and when she leaves, her face is still on the pillow.
Oh, okay, I get what you said. Yeah.
Like she done slept and wiped all her makeup off on your pillow. So you see the eyeshadow, you might even see loose mink lashes on the pillow. All this other type of stuff. You like, dude, this is unnecessary. Now I can understand if you are ugly and that is needed. But the 2 inches of makeup, man. What?
That's it. I can understand if you ugly and this is needed. What?
Hey, okay. What is makeup for?
It's supposed to enhance beauty.
It enhances beauty that you already have.
Correct.
The way these women are doing makeup, it is a metamorphosis of someone that you are not. You take if we go out on a date and I come back home to smash, in the morning you are a totally different individual. Your face is gone, your hair is off. You look like Sammy Sosa. You're around here looking like Uncle It. Don't get started on the waist trainer and shit. So you take off.
All right, so
you take off the hair, you take off the eyelashes, you take off all this other type of stuff, and then you take off the waist trainer. You out here looking like goodness.
All right.
Stop it.
Okay.
But then complain about a nigga don't like you for you. You didn't show me you.
I don't even know what to say. This man is going off on a complete tangent. TAN.
But that's a whole nother story. If you want somebody to like you and want you for you, show a nigga you.
He's mad about this shit, y'all. God damn it. Show yourself. God damn it.
Show a person you. That is for real. Be comfortable in your own skin is a real thing.
I have one last comment about that. Ladies, be yourselves, whatever that self may be. Be yourselves. Enjoy who you are. Enjoy what you are, what God made you to be. You're beautiful. You're all beautiful in my sight.
You are.
Yes.
You are.
Now,
but accept your own beauty.
Accept your own beauty. Let's talk about colorism in a different aspect.
Okay.
The greatest athlete of our time is a dark-skinned, bald-headed guy that happens to have led up the absolute greatest team of all time. Just imagine. Just think about it for a moment. Don't say nothing. Just think about it for a moment. How is it possible that a black man, dark-skinned brother, bald head, was able to pull off and accomplish things that other people weren't able to do?
Everything aligned just right for him at the right time.
At the right time. Also.
At the right time.
Also.
Because you have to think about.
Hold on. Let me say this. One of the main reasons why people have had problems with Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Oh my goodness, he didn't even want to throw his middle name.
Hey man, come on, we talking ball, man. One of the reasons why people have had issues with Michael Jeffrey Jordan over the years.
I know this might seem random, but
it is random. Let's not be random.
It's based on what's going on right now on TV.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That
Have you?
he was yes. I noticed. He was an unapologetic, dark-skinned, bald-headed black dude. Unapologetic at all.
I'm talking about I made one of those.
No, I haven't. I need to try that.
You do?
Yeah, I need to do that. And so that's one of the things that I've always wondered about when it comes to him. And as we transition to discussing the Last Dance documentary, which is probably one of the absolute best documentaries I think I've ever seen myself personally. I don't know about anybody.
It took you long enough to finally watch that jump.
It doesn't matter. Go to hell. So it is one of
You want to rave about it.
dude, I've been raving about it since day one.
I've been trying to get you
Okay, I had to catch up. I run a company, sir. I don't have time to watch TV as much as I would like. How about that shit?
Okay, Tommy looking at it.
Man, take your Gina Big Brother looking ass on somewhere. So the thing that I think about when I think about the
Pantyhose on your head looking at it, nigga.
you know, that wasn't even good. You need to go back to checking school.
Also, the one that okay, good. Got you.
Thank you very much.
Got you.
When we talk about MJ and we talk about the documentary, you know, there's been a lot said about it. What I'm also noticing now, just as a sidebar, all of the MJ haters are now trying to pay homage to him. It's so funny. Like, even looking on social media, I'm seeing guys who for the last 12 years have been talking about how LeBron is the greatest of all time. Now they're posting pictures of Michael Jordan with the GOAT icon or the GOAT emoji. You know what I'm saying?
So,
you know what I mean? And I think it's so funny. I think it's so very funny seeing that.
I would be one of those individuals, I would say. So I used to hate Jordan, but not per se because I was hating Jordan. I hated the media, how they talked about him like he walked on water. That's what I didn't like.
And they also
became obsessive, and
they also dogged the hell out of him as soon as they thought he did something wrong. He got praised as much as he got lambasted. Yes, he did. And Ahmad Rashad talked about that. When it came to the whole gambling. See, people don't remember. When it came, Ahmad Rashad said it best. He said the media in totality, they build you up to tear you down.
This is true.
The reason why Michael Jordan was looked at as being...
That's why I've always hated the limelight.
I mean, but still, that's something that you have to deal with when you're in the limelight. You feel what I'm saying? Because, yes, they're going to say how great you are, and they're going to celebrate you because that's a story. That's content for them. You know what I mean? That's content for them. So they're obviously going to talk about how great you are. They're obviously going to talk about what you've done. They're obviously going to talk about, you know, what numbers you hit and how many people are listening to your music or watching you play or whatever the case is. But as soon as you do something that they think you shouldn't do, or you say something that you shouldn't say, because I've laughed at people for the last several years talking about Michael Jordan not giving back to the community. And I'm like, damn, I remember MJ came to Memphis and donated an entire park in Lamar Garden. I remember MJ giving away money to HBCUs. Like, I read this shit before and I knew it was happening. He just doesn't talk about it.
Right.
And them comparing him to other people and the whole, you know, another story, I'm going to say this. I think the Chameleonaire story about Michael Jordan calling him a nigga was complete bullshit. And the reason why I call bullshit on that story, not that it didn't happen, but the way that Chameleonaire put it out there.
I believe it, though. I mean,
I didn't say it didn't happen. I'm saying that.
So you don't watch Jordan around here stunning folks?
Duh.
Okay, so I mean that's what he meant.
That's a part of it, though. Look at the way Chameleonaire put it out there. It was almost like he hated his own people, and that was bullshit. And I don't like that. And not because it was MJ. He could have said that about Kobe. He could have said that about anybody. But the way that Chameleonaire came off, it was like, oh, he'll like hang around black folks. And I thought that was bullshit.
He might not, though.
That's not true. It's definitely not, especially if you watch the documentary. Gus was black. His teammates black. Kenny hung around plenty of black folks. Like this other bullshit. Like I heard the people, they said, Michael Jordan don't like black people. I'm like, the fuck? What?
He just don't like your kind of black people.
Exactly. So that's my point.
Like Chris Rock, there are black people and they're not niggas.
Thank you. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, and again, like, just because an artist or another entertainer says, well, I don't like Jay-Z because of blah, blah, blah. Well, there's probably some shit that's personal. Like, that don't mean I ain't got to like him because your ass don't like him because he sunned your motherfucking ass.
Yeah, this podcast wouldn't come off right if it was the black guy and the nigger.
That's definitely not the title we should choose for this one. Like, what the fuck? Like, that is definitely not
the nigga and the black guy.
No. That's definitely
No,
that is definitely not. We should definitely not use that title. So,
but these last two episodes of the it was good, but I ain't gonna say I like it better than some of the other episodes in the documentary.
Mm-hmm. But that was the end of it, so it's kind of a wrap up. I'm gonna tell you what I did notice.
Let me finish with your point. I'm sorry. Okay.
No. All I'm saying is that what I appreciate and what I like is looking at from the perspective of a leadership perspective. We talk about greatness. And we talk about everybody wants to celebrate. Everybody wants to be like, who's the best at whatever, right? Everybody wants to talk about that. Who's the best actor? Who is the best comedian? Who is the most financially successful? You know what I mean? We mentioned Gates, Warren Buffett, Bezos, Oprah, whoever. We talk about who's the best baseball player, who's the best basketball, who's the best rap artist. Who's the best? And we have these conversations and we celebrate those people and we pick our top, we've done our top 50 rappers, right? Who we think are the top 50 of all time, maybe who the top 10 right now, the top 5 right now, and so forth and so on. And we have these lists of who the best are, who the greatest are, who we think belong in that conversation. But we don't include the work that goes along with being on that level. So I'll give you an example. Over the years, think about all of the people who have been considered the best at something. So I'll take Jay-Z for an example. You have to take a lot of you have to be able to take a lot of criticism to be able to be put in that category. But also looking at the work ethic of the individual. Looking at the work ethic of the individual. Looking at the natural God-given talents of the individual that they cultivate by that work ethic. Okay, places them on a different level. Places them in that conversation.
But outside, okay, so it's understood Michael Jordan is the greatest, Jay-Z is the greatest, or whatever like that. But outside of them, the trying to hold everybody else to that.
That's what I'm saying. You can't hold everybody else to that standard because everybody doesn't have that same work ethic. The same with Tupac. Like Tupac would go and do 30 songs. He would go and lock himself basically in the studio and make everybody stay there until they came out with something great. And
I ain't gonna really say this. That's really work ethic.
Work ethic. That's work.
I mean, if you're a painter and you're in the house and I mean you're just creating, that's not really a work ethic. That's what the fuck do you think it is? Like that's work. You're just creating.
Yeah, but in order to be creative, you have to have a work ethic. You can't be lazy as fuck and sitting on your ass and create nothing.
Well, I guess what I mean by that, a person who just creates, who's creating anyway, is not really considered working. They're going to be doing that if they were getting paid or not.
Work ethic is still applied today. You're still working. Like you're creative, so you don't see it. Like, you're more of a creative than I am. So you don't understand what I'm saying from the perspective of that's your work ethic that allows you to continue to be in the space that a creative is in. Like, you're constantly.
Tupac would have been doing that anyway.
Right.
If he had a studio in his house,
Right.
he would have had more songs.
Right. But an artist that looks at Tupac, that looks at Kobe Bryant, or looks at Magic Johnson, who was shooting free throws when it was freezing cold outside, you have to develop a work ethic to put you on that level of greatness. You understand what I'm saying? Because Michael Jordan even said, dude, I had to work my ass off to get to be this good. Right? I had to work to get here. So when other people hear that, that is an inspiration for them. Like, prime example, you're great at shooting photos. You're great at production. You had to work to be able to get as good as you are, as great as you are at doing that. So when I hear that and I want to do production and I want to learn how to take pictures, I'm going to have to take the same type of route in order to be great at it in my space. I may never be great at it as you are, because that just happens to be your gift, but you're still working your gift in order to continue to be great at it. Because you can be gifted as fuck. Like, you can be gifted and godly talented as fuck at anything. But if you don't work at that shit, you're not gonna be as good as you're gonna be. Real shit. Like, you can be born being able to play the piano, but if you don't ever work on that shit, you just gonna stay at the same level that you were when you was 9 years old. That 9-year-old level may be better than most people's 20-year-old level, but you're not gonna take it to the next level. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you gotta be able to have a work ethic. So a person like, now I can say, a person like Kobe Bryant looks at Michael Jordan and says, damn, I heard Michael Jordan goes and shoots 1,000 jump shots after practice is over. I'm going to go shoot 1,500. I heard Larry Bird shoots 150 free throws in a row. I'm going to go shoot 200. Because his work ethic, even though he was already gifted to do what he was doing, inspires other people to work their ass off to become as great as they could possibly be. Because guess what? If you lack the work ethic, you can be as creative as hell. But everybody does not have that same level of creativity. Some people have to work continually at it to become that good at what they do. You see what I'm saying?
I guess
some motherfuckers are physically gifted, John Henry ass, to pick up heavy shit.
Man, I heard people talking about that dumbass movie.
I wasn't talking about the movie.
I know, but you said John Henry.
Yeah, and I don't want to talk about that bullshit either, because I ain't watching, because I already knew it was going to be some bullshit when I saw it. Fucking Terry Crews. You know what I'm saying? Terry fucking Crews. Anyway.
But from watching The Last Dance, I guess I forgot how good the Pacers was. Now, we're talking about the Sonics.
You forgot how good the Pacers were, man.
Now, we're talking about the Sonics, and I was like, man, you know what? They had a 68-12 record. But when they named off the squad of the Pacers, and I was just like, you know what? I forgot about Travis Best. I forgot about
Dale Davis, Antonio Davis.
The Davis brothers, Deadlift Shrimp. I mean, not Deadlift Shrimp. Was he on that team? Rich Mix. Chris Mullins.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Rose was on the team.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm like, dude. And they went 7 games.
They did. They
almost lost. So, did they win? How much did the Bulls win by Game 7? I don't think they really talked about the Game 7.
I think they either did it, I missed it, or something like that.
I don't think they talked about games. They just said they ended up winning, but they talked up games 1 through 6.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I still say that Sonics team was a dope team.
But MJ said that Gary Payton was no problem.
That's what he says.
No, he's for the bullshit. He is not. Man, I don't understand why people think that MJ got a bullshit. If he said he wasn't no problem, he wasn't no fucking problem.
Who I have yet to really hear him give anybody props.
Dude, I'm going to tell you one person he fucking gave props to is Penny fucking Hardaway.
Which is going to be my next conversation.
That's who the fuck he gave props to.
I don't think publicly.
He gave fucking props to Reggie Miller.
I don't think publicly people give Hardaway, Penny enough credit.
Penny changed the game, dog.
Like,
Penny changed the fucking game. We wouldn't even be talking about LeBron passing and doing all this other shit if Penny didn't do it first. It wouldn't be no fucking T-Mac and a whole bunch of other dudes if it weren't for Penny. Hell, even Kobe Bryant said that dude, Penny Hardaway was that dude.
I was looking at All the Smoke podcast, and they were interviewing Hardaway.
And we're still talking about The Last Dance, by the way.
Yes.
Pulling a little ball in. Y'all stay with us. Y'all know what we do.
They were talking about they had Hardaway on that joint and just remembering some things like, I mean, and even in The Last Dance, he put the Bulls out.
Yeah. Penny Hardaway did that.
Penny Hardaway put the Bulls
went
out
to work. He was balling that.
I think they put him out in 5 games. It's like he's not talked about at all. And I don't, like, okay, when we talking about the greatest, like when you're saying the greatest MJ, he was like, people consider the greatest by how many rings that you have and things like that. I think there are greater people who don't have fucking rings.
But when you talk about, I think what it is this. Greatness.
Because I put like this, if we could talk about rings, Robert Horry is the greatest player of all time.
No, the fuck he ain't.
He got more rings than Jordan.
It don't fucking matter. Robert Horry is not even in that fucking conversation.
Well, okay, then we can't keep throwing up. He got so and so rings.
You can. Yes, you can, because that's a part of the criteria.
Well,
that's bullshit.
Robert Horry has more rings than Michael.
Robert Horry is a fucking role player. Robert Horry ain't the reason why he got them fucking rings. He's the reason why he probably got like 3 of them, but the rest of this shit is somebody else's job.
He got more rings than Jordan.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Okay.
Earl Barron got a fucking ring from the Miami Heat team that came out the fucking bench.
But you're naming one ring. I'm talking about...
No, we're talking about rings, sir. See, somebody else brought that shit up one day, and I dated that shit on social media for the same reason. Somebody said, well, if we talking about rings, Robert Horry got... I'm like, motherfucker, ain't nobody talking about Robert Horry being one of the greatest players of all time. We talking about statistics. We're talking about leadership. We're talking about
let it be about statistics.
No, sir.
Be in the conversation of one of the greatest
players. No, sir. You know why he's not? Because Harden got no sir. That's not the reason why.
Because he ain't got a ring.
Rings is a part of the fucking like what the fuck do you play for? What you play for? You play to win a fucking championship every year.
Okay.
Went to the championship and got their ass kicked by Houston, right?
Okay.
When Shaquille O'Neal retired, Shaquille got, 5 rings, right? If Shaquille had never got a ring, we would not be talking about Shaq as one of the greatest of all time if he ain't got no damn rings.
So how do we talk about Barkley as one of the greatest of all time?
Because Barkley at least played for a championship. Barkley at his position was the absolute best power forward between him and Karl Malone until Tim Duncan came along. Barkley is not in the Barkley is not in the championship too. Then Barkley is not in the conversation of GOAT. He is not. He is not in that conversation.
I don't know.
No, sir.
Okay.
Charles Barkley is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, power forward of all time, next to Karl Malone and Tim Duncan. But the reason why Tim Duncan is in the GOAT conversation for some people, not for me, and just stay with me, is because Tim Duncan has multiple championships. Karl Malone, the number 1 scorer of all time, is not in that conversation. Why? Because he does not have a championship. He got beat twice by the GOAT. Okay? And think about that. Watching part of the conversation, Doc.
watching The Last Dance, I kind of forgot how cold Karl Malone was. I did not like Karl Malone. I hated Karl Malone. But just watching that nigga just hoop, I'm like, man, that nigga was kind of cold, though.
If you took Karl Malone and there was no Michael Jordan, Karl Malone would have at least 2 rings, him and John Stockton right now. If Mike had to stay retired or Mike had to retire after that, the Sonic series, if he decides, okay, I'm not playing, just think about it. If Mike had, people bullshit with this all day long.
Last pocket, he has ruined people's careers.
That's what I'm saying.
Reggie Miller would have a ring.
That's what I'm saying. You have to be you have to be the type of player that prevents other great players from getting a championship or achieving the ultimate goal. Magic Johnson and the Lakers kept plenty of people from getting rings. The Detroit Pistons kept plenty of people from getting rings. When you win 3 championships in a row, come on, dog. You think how many other teams ain't getting a ring and your ass got 3?
Okay, but now, keeping one person from getting a ring is different from keeping a whole squad.
That's what I'm saying. You got teams who are basically on the verge of becoming something great. They got their ass kicked by Chicago.
Right.
And they basically went into hiding after that. They're like, man, we can't beat these motherfuckers.
Going to hiding, I mean, split the whole team up. Yeah.
Like, we can't beat them. Like, we finna go get 3 Hall of Famers and put them on this team.
You broke up Orlando team. You
broke up left and went to LA.
You broke up the Knicks team. You break up Indiana team. Did they break up? No, I don't think they broke up the Jazz team. They just eventually all got old and retired. But
the Jazz team, that Jazz team, I'm gonna tell you. So that Jazz team had some guys on there like role players. Shooters. Well, they weren't really short on shooters. They had Hornacek. They had golly, what's the other guy? What was his name? Shannon Anderson. He was a pretty decent shooter. Now they probably did need some more shooters on that team. They need more shooters on that team.
If they had one more dependable shooter, they still would have won the game against the Bulls. They would have won to get the series against the Bulls.
Because
they could not stop that pick and roll.
Well, obviously nobody could stop the pick and roll. That's why San Antonio started doing it with Tim Duncan and Tony Parker later. This one of the most difficult offenses to.
I hate it, kid.
And especially if you got shooters on the perimeter. But that's what made San Antonio good. Remember, because they had shooters out there.
That's another team I like. I hated San Antonio.
I didn't like San Antonio, but they were effective. They were highly effective. Because everybody complained about Tim Duncan moving. Well, they complained about boring ball. I don't know.
The Jazz basketball.
The Jazz were boring. The Jazz were boring. The Jazz were boring, but they were effective. You know, there's 60-win teams. There was 60-win team with 3-4 years in a row. You know what I'm saying?
It just was not exciting just to look forward to playing the Jazz or playing the Spurs.
The finals were exciting. Those Utah-Chicago series were exciting. But it would not have been exciting if they were playing against the San Antonio.
If it was Utah and
if it was Utah and like the Knicks or something like that, it wouldn't have been as exciting. I don't think, in my opinion.
Yeah, it
wouldn't have been as exciting.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at it though, Chicago had to start going to. They started. Well, of course, they had the triangle, which is different. But it was inside out, moving the ball, post up type of situation when that came about. So look at all the like role player centers that Chicago had. They had 3 or 4 big guys that could get rebounds or they could shoot jump shots at the same time.
I think that's the reason why I didn't like Jordan. I didn't like Jordan because he stopped people who was on a run, and it was like it's their year.
And he cut it.
During those seasons, everybody had a year.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, it's
that was Seattle's year. Yeah, that was Seattle's year. Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like
That was Phoenix year.
Now there were some teams where you could be like, but
Somebody
there was a team at the beginning of the season you could see how they played and like, oh,
it's their year.
That's their year. So the Pacers, the Sonics,
Phoenix. Phoenix team was, in my opinion, talent-wise, was not as good as the Sonics team, but Phoenix had a great team. Barkley averaged like 38 a game.
I could still see that team. I could still see somebody beating them. I
have to go back and see who they played in the West Conference Finals. I have to go back and see who they played in the West Conference Finals. So,
like, if you take the Bulls away with the Sonics, I don't see anybody beating the Sonics that year.
Because
if you take the Bulls out, I don't see nobody beating the Pacers that year.
Mm-hmm.
If you take the Bulls out, I don't see nobody beating Portland when Clyde Drexler was on the team.
That Portland, like
Jerome Kersey and all them.
Yeah, like Terry Porter and all them on there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that take the Bulls away. I don't see nobody beating the Jazz.
No, Jazz easily. If Mike stays retired, Gary Payton gets a ring, and
you take the Bulls away, I don't see nobody beating Orlando.
No, that's what I'm saying. So here's all the people that I think get rings. If Mike retires and stays retired, right? Well,
the Sonics still wouldn't have one.
You don't think they would?
Mike was still playing on it.
No. I'm saying if Mike retires and he does not come out of retirement, if he retires when he goes to play,
he retired in '96.
This was 95, 96. It was like 96. He retired for almost 2 years, 18 months. So it was 95. I think he went to play baseball, if I'm not mistaken. 90 was at night because it was a 91 championship, 92 and 93, and 94 is when he. Yeah, 94 is when he retired. He came back in 95. And then they lost in 95, and they came back in 96, and they won 96, 97, 98. So he retired 94. He came back 95.
The 96 is when the Pacers, the Sonics.
The Sonics. So you had LA was the first one. You had Phoenix was number 2. Trailblazers was the third one, I believe. No, it was either Trailblazers or Phoenix. It was 2 and 3. I can't remember. He retires after beating Phoenix, I believe, or the Blazers. And you know what? Did they even talk about the Blazers?
Nope.
They never talked about that.
It was brief. When they did that, when he was talking about comparing.
When he did the shrug.
He was like,
he did the shoulder shrug. Okay, so that was the third one, I think. He retires. He gets done with that.
And then I hated the flu game. I hated that flu game explanation too, but
it was actually true. And actually, no, for real. This is no bullshit. I'm not making this up. I talked to a sports writer that verified that story. They poisoned. That was food poison. It was on purpose. And that was not the first time that they did that in Utah. He verified. I asked this question. I said, hey, what do you know about the flu game? And he says the story that Mike had been drinking or something or doing whatever is not true. Mike was food poisoned and it was on purpose. He said Utah was known for doing that type of stuff.
There's a lot of players who say they hate going to Utah too.
Because
I've heard several.
Russell Westbrook said specifically that Utah is one of the racist arenas he's ever been in. He said they call you nigga. Like at the arena, they will call you a nigga right while you sitting on the bench. They will call you a nigga right behind you.
And for some reason, I feel like that's the reason why I never liked Karl Malone, because he's on this team, and I feel like I'm like, dude, I don't think they really fuck with you.
There's been guys that played for Utah that said that when they went there to play, they had in their heads that I'm not playing here my entire career, because they never went anywhere and did anything because it's so racist and it's a Mormon state. You know what I mean? And then they talked about that. I remember some guys talked about that. It was like, man, I hope I don't get drafted to Utah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope I don't get drafted to Utah. But he Man, he did it. So many guys championships, opportunities, man. You're talking about all-time great players that did not get a ring because Michael Jordan was playing.
Right.
And which leads me to the next thing. I'm going to go out on a limb here. And how much time we got left, but I'm going to say this, that people can say what they want about Hakeem Olajuwon and that Houston team. If Michael Jordan does not retire, he'd have 8 championships. He would have won 8 straight. The Houston team, that Houston team.
You think he would be?
Absolutely.
Well, Hakeem Olajuwon and all that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The reason why people talk about that, I mean, much love to the Dream, because the Dream was a bad dude. Like, he one of them dudes. Like, he is one of the greats. But
I don't even think Orlando should have lost to Houston.
But, well, Shaq couldn't guard. Shaq couldn't guard Hakeem. Shaq could not guard.
But even isn't that what Nick Anderson showed?
Yeah, exactly. But we're talking about the main piece of that Houston offense is Hakeem Olajuwon. Shaquille O'Neal could not guard him.
That's fine.
No,
the other 4 need to beat me.
I got it, but stay with what I'm saying.
The other 4 need to beat me.
Right, but listen to what I'm saying. Shaquille O'Neal's game was not playing defense. It was scoring points.
Okay.
They never put Shaq in a position to where Hakeem had to stop him. They always put Shaq in a position to have to stop Hakeem. Because Hakeem had the head fakes and all of the up and unders and the fadeaways. Shaq was too busy defending Hakeem, and on the offensive end, he struggled because he was so tired trying to keep up with a dude that was 6'10", 6'9", 6'10", and he's 7'1" and 350 pounds, right? But Hakeem is 6'10",
but
235, 240.
I still got 4 other players though.
I'm not talking about them. You know damn well that Houston team that won them championships had an old Clyde Drexler, right? Not an old Clyde Drexler, but a traded Clyde Drexler. They had Kenny Smith, they had Sam Cassell, they had Vernon Maxwell, they had shooters, they had Mario Elie was a great defensive player and can pull the ball, push the ball up the floor. They had a talented team. They had a seasoned veteran team as well. What I'm saying is Shaquille O'Neal is still in the early stages of his career. He's not able to guard. You got to be able to do both. And Shaquille O'Neal was a power player. When he was taken out of his element and started getting in foul trouble because he can't guard this dude that's faster than him, that's pulling him out of the paint and making him have to defend jumps. Like, what center shooting a 15, 20-foot jump shot? And I got to pull my center out of the paint to go out here and guard him. So now I'm tired. So on offense, I'm making mistakes and I'm turning the ball over and I'm traveling and all type of stuff, and I can't even play my game.
So you're giving all this props. So how would you say the Bulls is beating that team?
The way the Bulls is beating that team is this. Houston has to guard Scottie Pippen. Houston has to guard Michael Jordan.
So
I'm not done.
I mean,
I'm not giving props. We talking about the game.
Okay.
We talking about the game. Houston also has to contend with the fact that Chicago has 3 to 4 centers that they can throw at Hakeem at any given time to frustrate. They ain't got to worry about scoring points. That's not Chicago's offense. They run a triangle, so they can switch in guys in and out, in and out, in and out. They'll tire. Look at what they did with Sean Kemp. Right? They tired Kemp out. Look at what they did even with Portland. Portland had some good big guys, rebounders, muscle type of dudes. Cliff Robinson, them. They tired a lot of those big guys out because they had these role player big dudes that could come in there and play defense, right? Box out on rebounds. They could get in foul trouble. We got 2 more dudes that can come off the bench and do this. So people talk about that like, man, Hakeem would have killed Chicago. I'm like, well, I'm not going to necessarily say that it would have been easy for Chicago, but it wouldn't have been easy for Houston the way it did when the way they beat up on Orlando and wiped them out and swept them, and then the way they whooped up on New York.
But you just said the Bulls would have had 8.
Yes, the Bulls would have had 8 because I do not see Michael Jordan losing and his team losing to a Houston team who had one major component that everybody relied on. And back then, Houston played an inside-out game. That's how Vernon Maxwell got them threes he can knock down. That's why Mario Elie got those shots. That's why Sam Cassell, Vernon Mad Max was like that. If the ball went inside and Hakeem got double teamed, they kicking the ball out. Mad Max knocking it down.
Hey, do you remember the Olympic team that Hardaway played with?
Yeah.
That was a cold squad.
That was a cold freaking squad.
I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the squad that played against MJ and Bird and Magic.
Yeah.
It was Hardaway, Chris Webber, Jamal Mashburn, all of them and shit.
Yeah.
Dude. I'm sitting up here listening to Hardaway tell these stories on this podcast. And I'm like, yeah, that was a squad.
Hell yeah. Absolutely.
Bobby Hurley. Who else was on there?
Man,
Bobby Hurley was cold, man. If he weren't for that accident, man, that man would have been a cold point guard, man.
Who, Bobby Hurley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He even he had his own his own shoe line and everything. I think it was like NZ or something like that.
I'm trying to remember what is it? I'm trying to think about what he did.
Bobby Hurley?
Yeah, in college. That's right. He played
for Indiana.
No. He played for Duke.
Yeah,
he played for Duke. Yeah, he played for Duke.
Ain't that where Jay Williams came out of?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, never mind. I guess not all of them, but I was gonna say it's been some accidents happening from point guards coming out of Duke. Man,
it's been accidents happening with a lot of players that came out of Duke. The Grant Hill situation.
Damn.
Jay Williams situation. Even Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving still hurt.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I think the only player that they mentioned never really had any career injuries was Shane Battier. And he just had wrinkle head.
That nigga looked like a Ruffles chip. Sour cream and cheddar face ass.
Oh, man. But yeah, man. Great documentary. Great insight on the game itself, on the people attached to the game, the other characters, the security people and family members. I think that was dope to talk about.
I still say I think Jordan may have been a hater. Like I said,
how was Jordan a hater?
Because he's motivated now to beat the Utah Jazz because they gave Karl Malone MVP.
That's not being a hater. That's finding motivation, especially when you think you deserve. Remember, you just said, don't contradict yourself. You just said about not creativity, but competition. That's the competitive nature. And he even said himself, because he even said it about Charles. When Charles got the MVP, right? He was like, Charles gets the MVP, we ain't gonna worry about that. I get something else. Like, I'm gonna get a championship. Like, you had the MVP, I already got those. And the same thing when Carl got it, because he was like, man, I know I'm the MVP every year, but y'all give it to this dude. Okay, all right, I got you. I'm gonna show you. And he gets finals MVP 6 times. That's the competitive nature, man.
But some would look at that as being a hater.
That's not being a hater.
So y'all giving this nigga love? Okay, cool.
If you notice, all great people have to find some type of motivation. Even, Shaquille O'Neal said that. he said they talked about it was so-called beef between, I think, him and Greg Ostertag or something like that.
Some people look at your love as hate.
True. But sometimes you manufacture it to give yourself an edge. And I think a lot of that, you know, from the sports perspective, they do that. They'd be like, oh man, so-and-so don't like me. Joel Embiid does it. He does a pretty good job of it too. But he knows who to try with that stuff.
Right. I don't really like Joel Embiid either. He's one of them type of people throw rocks and hide his hands.
He knows who to try that shit with.
Probably fool.
Yeah, he knows who to try that shit with. He knows who to try it with. He don't do that with everybody. But
speaking of, well, I ain't gonna say speaking of, but people. I was thinking of people that's like wilding out. You see these people wilding out over not wearing masks or having to wear a mask.
Like people going out in public and stuff.
Yes.
So which one? The people having to wear a mask, or the folks wilding out about people having to wear masks, or they're wilding out because people are not wearing them?
One, wilding out that they have to wear them. Two, the wide range of people, like, okay, I just painted recently over the weekend, and going out to, before going out, people were abiding by the rules, I guess you can say.
For the most part, they are too, because I was out this morning, and just about everybody I saw had a mask on.
Everybody that I saw did not. When I went up in that giant, the only people who mostly was wearing them were the workers, but the people who were coming in, no mask, no gloves. They not even like trying to sanitize the basket that they pushing.
People need to be constantly reminded, though, man. Yeah, they do.
Well, it's too late. But I've been seeing people fighting or arguing because they either have like you. So you haven't been seeing anything in the news like where the security guard got shot at the family.
Yeah, I did see that, which I thought that was stupid as fuck. This man just trying to do his damn job, and y'all shoot this man because he working. Kind of fucked up shit is that?
But that's what I'm saying. This type of stuff is happening too now.
But
I ain't got no milk. And
then too, man, that's just already people with aggressive ass behaviors anyway. Just want a reason to act a goddamn fool. That shit there is stupid. Especially when you supposed to be wearing the fucking mask, and then you say, I ain't wearing shit. I'm finna go right and do like, hey man, you gotta wear this. It's ridiculous, man.
It is.
It's fucking ridiculous. That right there pissed me off. I'm serious. I'm like, damn, put the fucking mask on and just go and get what you gotta get the fuck out the store.
Right.
Damn. Like, you got to do that shit?
You're getting that mad because you have to wear it.
Like, I'm trying to save your fucking life.
Right. I'm trying to protect me, but I'm trying to protect you too.
It's crazy as fuck.
Definitely.
That shit crazy. I ain't never seen no shit like that before. That's
all. You have anything?
Man, the last thing I do have is everybody, when it comes to classifying where you're good at, what you believe in, how strongly you believe about what you're good at, I think there is a specific route, a specific method, a specific amount of work that you have to put into becoming as good or as great at whatever it is that you're doing. If you're painting, if you are a writer, if you are a teacher, if you are a person that that does art in some form. The whole Last Dance documentary, the GOATs conversations that we have, the who's better between Beyonce or Kelly conversations that we discussed tonight. I think that out of all of that, this is probably the greatest time or the best time for you, myself, Jay, anybody, to put the right amount of work in to becoming as good or as great as you possibly could be at that thing that you enjoy doing, that thing that you're already doing, that idea that you have, that business that you want to start, that career change that you want to make, that education that you want to get, so forth and so on. This is the opportune time to do so. I would make that appeal. I feel like the work that I do, now I'm seeing the manifestation of the work ethic, because people are saying it. Like, and I send a shout out to all my people on social media, Instagram and Facebook, that have shared pictures, that have sent referrals, and the improvement that I've seen in my work and in my team's work over the period of 4 years is just outstanding. But what goes along with that is the work ethic. I've worked my ass off, you know what I'm saying, to become better, because I want to be the best at what I do. But I gotta work to do that.
Man, you know I want to hear all this shit.
Damn, man. Negative nacho looking ass nigga.
Negative nacho?
Yeah.
Nacho Libre looking ass nigga.
Left stand, forehead ass nigga. Trying to be positive, man. People need to hear positivity. Memphis Red. Ugly ass nigga. Ugly one.
Use your head, don't use your head. Nigga. Positive power looking at ass nigga.
Spoon Spencer looking at alone, man. I'm trying to do my Malcolm Jamal Water, LeVar shit over here, man. Here you come with all that. All that hating ass shit over there.
Oh, man.
It just ruined my moment, shit.
I'm just saying what somebody else probably would be thinking.
I'm gonna ride in the car.
They call me Positive Paul. And that will be the name of the show.
Oh my God. Hell nah. Hell nah.
Positive Paul.
Hell nah. Damn. That's fucked. Damn. That's fucked.
Oh, man. You know what I was thinking, man?
What?
During this quarantine, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was thinking, like, when they was talking about the food shortages and stuff. What did the golden child eat when he was stuck in that little cage? That nigga ate like a spinach leaf and oatmeal or some shit, right? That nigga was eating a leaf a day. He had a bag of spinach under his arm. I was like, that nigga survived off a spinach leaf, my nigga.
It's a fucking movie, man. What the fuck you talking about, man? That random ass Hollywood shit you just pulled.
I was like, could I live off
Damn, vegan ass nigga.
Could I live off a spinach leaf? If times get hard.
That was the most light-skinned vegan ass shit I done heard in the last 15 years.
Light-skinned vegan shit?
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a classic example of colorism.
Man, see, yeah. I had a tomato sandwich the other day. That's some light-skinned shit.
Yeah, that's some light-skinned ass shit right there. Who the fuck eats a tomato sandwich, light-skinned ass motherfucker?
then you haven't been through the struggle. Then
I have been through the struggle. I've had mayonnaise and tomato sandwiches before.
Okay, a mayonnaise sandwich, but if you have at least a tomato, you can make a meal out there, bitch. Shit.
Damn, poor ass motherfucker. Damn, that's some poor ass shit right there, man.
Tomato sandwich is the business, man.
I've had sliced tomato.
Yeah.
And mayo.
Put that junk on some bread, man. It's the business. Like, man, just that's the best thing. Yeah.
Westwood ass shit right there.
This nigga, yo.
Damn. You ain't do that shit in South Memphis.
That's some South Memphis shit. Tomato sandwich. Hey, you know what? Tomorrow on your post, be like, who had a tomato sandwich?
I'm a struggle. Matter of fact, I'm finna post that right now.
They gonna be on it, man. I love tomato sandwich. Fried green tomatoes, all of this shit. That's the struggle, sir. When you just only have bread and a tomato in the refrigerator.
Damn, I can't spell sandwich.
Oh, you're educated. I don't know why I was thinking about the golden child. I was like, man,
yeah, that's some light skin ass shit.
It was some Eddie Murphy movies, bro.
The golden child was light skin.
Oh my goodness. He was a monk.
That wasn't.
Okay, so apparently Sam is on one, and on that note, we shall beat out.
Yeah, so, we need to. Because now I'm turning to the gangster and he's the gentleman. And you know that's fucked up.
I think what I'll do is... Okay, so shit. All right. So, at this point, you will be hearing us going through an ending.
Shout out to all the listeners once again.
Out of the blue.
Shout out to all the listeners once again. Everybody's new listeners, old listeners, 15-minute listeners, 20-minute listeners, an hour listeners, 2 hour, whoever, anybody that signed on to check us out, man.
Jacket on.
Yes, he does. And this looks
with a flannel
shirt and a t-shirt on there. Martin was musty as hell. And just we appreciate everybody. We are thankful for the following. We're thankful for all the social media engagement. Continue to stay connected with us on social media. And reach out to us if you have any questions, if you have any thoughts, if you have any ideas. We love the engagement. We love to hear from you. And that's all I got. Peace out.
Peace out.
Yeah.
We still using that in 2020, sir? Damn, man, she got some Phil Jackson shoulders. Look at this, man. Oh, my goodness. All right. I am on the note.
This is ridiculous. This show is ridiculous.
I am your host, Jason JWilldoes, and
JWilldoes.
My guy here,
and I'm ITG, Ivan the Great.
Ivan the Great is
what I do. I be great, man.
We appreciate all the listeners, all the viewers. Thank you for continuing to entertain us while we entertain you. During this quarantine, bored, in the house, bored all the time. Safe at home.
Safe at home. Safer at home. Shout out to all the UFOs that are listening right now.
Stop spreading Rona. Stay at home.
Yeah. I agree.
Unless you're trying to get on that thing, but yeah.
Okay, good night, folks.
And we are the Off on the Tangent podcast, and we are about to do the same. Peace. Face ass.
Stay off those bitch shit.
Face ass.
Oh shit. This right here.